Do.
It's Sunday morning. Wayne's happy. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. It's not your normal Sunday show. We've got a full house already. Nice to see everybody. I have to say it. I'm kind of glad you didn't go to church and that you're here hanging out with us. How
Yeah.
do you feel about that, Wayne?
Hey, I think that's probably one of the most brightest moves that a person could do.
I
It shows advancement.
Absolutely it does. Now, Wayne, you were just talking to me about something off air about, just talk about what you were talking about.
Yeah. So I've been up since 4 o'clock and just in some deep meditation. And
That's like 4 hours, isn't it?
yeah. Well, I went out for a walk and, it's really like 17, 18 degrees here. It's great. But
It's
anyway,
here. That's why I'm bundled up.
yeah. So Jeff is 50 and I'm like, wow, that'd be kind of nice just to walk out on the beach. But anyway, I digress. The thought awoke me this morning that virtually all mankind, all religion, in one form or another, believe in spiritual beings, whether they be angels or demons. And the thought occurred to me, Jeff, as I was beginning to meditate on this. All right, so let's think about what this implies. This implies, are these beings created like this? Is it just the snap of a finger? Are they all knowing? How did they get all this knowledge? How does one become good? One becomes bad. It's quite the conundrum. And then when you put it in perspective to what the average person must endure in this lifetime, it's a one-sided game any way you look at it. We are so disadvantaged in this thing called the game of life because we absolutely assume so much, but yet when we start digging into the details, it becomes very difficult for us to really come to what is that answer. So anyway, that's what my thought has been.
I miss my old chair, Wayne.
I know. Your butt just doesn't feel right, does it?
It doesn't. So I'm just thinking if they were created and they were created a long time ago, that might account for their seeming omniscience or all knowledge because they've just been around and have seen a lot. So I guess you could create something all-knowing, but that's a little bit of a conundrum to me.
Yeah. I mean, how so I was watching George
Here's
Harrison.
an idea for you, Wayne, since I know your entrepreneurial mindset. Alana, Dawn, and Cynthia were just saying in the chat room, wouldn't it be great if there was chat that had like live faces as well?
Yes. Then it would be truly interactive. Agreed.
So just something I thought I'd throw out there for you, Wayne.
Yeah, I love that. But it's still a dilemma for me. It's this whole thing about if you have a spiritual being that is created as such, for us, I mean, I contend that we are, in fact, immortal spirits, that we are already perfect. We're just experiencing an imperfect reality. And it's stimulating. It's very stimulating. I had this conversation yesterday with someone that I said, listen, whether life be good or life be bad, it still was the experience.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's snowy in Montreal.
Hey, Montreal. That's how I love it. Hello, Jeff and Wayne. Well, you see, this is the place to be. So what's your thoughts on this? I mean, demons. All right. I was thinking of Ephesians 6:12 and how
hierarchy.
Yes, this whole, in fact, it's quite a study just to do it from a secular point of view.
It is.
And so there is obvious in a reality, our reality, this unseen hierarchy, obviously controlled by unseen spiritual beings. And I think it's us that's the ones that can't see. They can see us just fine.
And Wayne, isn't it interesting that in the political realms, they're also hiding behind the scenes. It's an unseen hierarchy.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's good, Jeff. That's a really nice correlation between the two. Wouldn't be surprised if it's the same foundation.
Blind squirrels nuts. You know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's obvious that there is this kingdom that is either a part of us or we're a part of it, or each are part of something that's even greater. I loved what George Harrison said. One of our subscribers sent me this interview on VH1 with George Harrison in 1997 with Ravi Shankar. And George Harrison said, the only thing really counts in life and understanding life is understanding death.
Ooh, isn't that good?
Isn't that's deep?
You know, it's fun. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, just, George Harrison, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, going out to the desert in a couple of weeks, and Derek will be there and Rex will be there. And for some reason, the Beatles came to my mind and I'll be there. So it's like, let's say that Rex is Paul and Derek is John. And I don't know if I'm George or Ringo. I'm not sure.
Well, it's a good comparison to be put to. But George was right. We go through our whole lives, as he said, avoiding the question, but yet it's ever pressing upon us. And
Yeah.
I like how he said, if perfection existed, and he said that would be perfect consciousness, then he said, how did we get here? How did imperfection become?
And Wayne, maybe the reason why the spiritual hierarchy is hidden and the reason why the political, social hierarchy is hidden is because they know that if they let us see it, we'll figure it out and we're more powerful and we can tear it down. So the only way to perpetuate it is to keep it a secret.
Oh, I think there's great wisdom in that, Jeff. Great wisdom.
And check this out, Wayne. Matthew 24:24. If it were possible, even the elect would be deceived.
Yeah.
I did a show about this last night at 11 o'clock. It just hit me. And I looked up the word elect. For some reason, I've never looked up that word because we all know what elect means. It means God chose us. God picks us.
The chosen ones, yeah.
If you look at the word, Wayne, in the Greek, yeah, we're elect, but they've completely flipped the script on us. What the word means is, we get this idea that we're here on this tryout for God, and that if God likes us, he might pick us. It's like being on the playground, and they pick a couple captains, and they're choosing, and you're hoping you're not the last one picked. It's like we're in a dress rehearsal. It's like we're at the whim of some capricious God of, well, I'll pick you, but I won't pick you. What the word actually means, Wayne, and I challenge anyone to watch the video from last night or to look at the Greek themselves. Yeah, we're elect, but it's not that we're selected. It's that we elect to join the God.
Ooh, that's good.
That's what the word means. We elect. We choose.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
It's not us that's auditioning. It's the gods that's auditioning. Which one do you want to pick?
Bravo. I love that.
That is paradigm changing right there, Wayne.
It gets back to that whole thing when I finally just got fed up with religion and all the gods. I mean, it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with any of them. And you know what? I'm not alone. There's millions of us awakening to this each week, more each month, more each year. And that's why you and I are where we are. I'm fed up with them. I have so many people who keep writing to me and saying, well, the answer is Jesus Christ. And I go, just answer me a question. Is God a Christian? If you'll be honest enough to answer that question, then we can have an honest intellectual discussion. They don't want to be honest, Jeff.
Can I say something a little bit controversial, Wayne?
Yes, sir, please.
If Jesus is the answer, it must have been a stupid question. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Outstanding, my friend. Outstanding. I love it. I love that. I mean,
could you imagine walking around with that T-shirt? If Jesus is the answer, it must have been a stupid question.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to get, you can get those one-ons for sweatshirts. I think I might just get that one. That one it's perfect. It's perfect.
When I wear the Jesus Slaves T-shirt out, it's always a conversation starter.
Oh, I bet it is.
That would be even better.
And here we sit today, and we struggle all of our lives. So I wrote this just before we came on. I was
I didn't
actually
read it, Wayne. What's it say?
I said, is death a spirit, or is it a plane of existence?
Is death a spirit?
Yeah.
Now that's interesting. Like if you watch Supernatural, that TV show, they've got I think death is actually personified as an actual being or an actual entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very
and didn't Paul say that we were tormented all through our lives, with death? The thought that death is a spirit. When death comes, God sent death out. And I went, well, if death's a spirit, now think about this. How can this spirit be in so many places at the same time? And then it gets to the point that I've said, well, wait a minute. In this plane of existence that I live in, I'm an observer, just like you are. Everything I see around me is death.
Wow.
We have to eat death in order to stay in death.
Wow, that's profound. We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And even if you ate, I went through this whole thing about eating. I don't want to eat death. I don't want to eat fear. And I got myself almost really sick because my logical mind said, well, if I eat fruit is still living, and fruit doesn't kill the tree that it came from. And you can eat fruit and just fruit for a long time, but sooner or later, if all you eat is fruit,
you're going to become fruity.
It's going to kill you.
It's going to get fruity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this whole existence, Jeff, now think of it. This is the mind coitus. We get so trapped in this that we become afraid to leave it. And I sense that we were afraid to come into it.
It's the ultimate Stockholm syndrome, Wayne.
Isn't it, though?
We're caught in a trap. We can't walk out. And yet when people try to tell us it is a trap, we fight against that truth and hang on to this life like it's the most important thing in the world. And it's nothing. And you only are free when you realize that death is a promotion.
Yeah. We can't go on this way with suspicious minds.
Exactly. The last enemy is death.
That's what it says. So
but that's not what it doesn't mean what you think it means.
No.
When you defeat the concept of death, when you get rid of the fear of death, that's your last enemy. You're free indeed. Once you realize that death is nothing to be feared, that's your last enemy. That's the last boogeyman. And that's a podcast.
Mic drop. Boom.
That's a podcast.
So all
You're
of this
writing in cursive, Wayne.
No. There you go.
Were you watching that show that I did, or were we doing it? Where no, I was interviewing a guy that said he was from the secret space program. I think it was Jason Rice, and he made one of the most profound statements I've heard in a long time, Wayne. They're not teaching cursive anymore in schools. And isn't it interesting that how long will it take if they're not teaching cursive anymore that people will no longer be able to read the founding documents of this country?
No.
Because they're written in cursive. And he said, and I can't confirm this because I don't know for sure, but he said a lot of the bar, British, whatever registry, the bar, the legal stuff is written in cursive too.
Yes.
So how long before we can't read cursive anymore and we have to wait on other people to tell us what the founding documents mean, and we end up in the same place that we are right now with men in dresses telling us what the Bible really means?
And they've been doing that now for 2,000 years.
They have.
So I just want to share this profound voice from the other side.
Wayne, are you channeling again?
Yeah, I'm channeling. Give me life, give me peace on earth, right? To belong, the goal each of us desire is to become one with bliss.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. George Harrison said, we all struggle to find this place of bliss. He says some do it through drugs, some do it through alcohol, some do it through sex. And he says some of us learn to achieve it by meditation.
Do I
But
get to choose which one, Wayne?
Pardon? What?
Do I get to choose which one I sneak it through?
Yeah, I think you can. And that's what George said. You know, he said I couldn't get high anymore. He said there was something more. And he's what?
He couldn't get high anymore.
No. He said it just wasn't there. And it got me to thinking that, you know what? This is very odd. We get so fearful of death. We want to stay in this death, but yet we seek escape by the bliss.
And we never realize that getting out of this body is where the bliss comes from.
Bingo.
So they've got us fearing our freedom.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
what captors do. They get us fearing our freedom.
You know, I will say this. I got a lot out of the religion, Christianity, but you know what I didn't care for, that I carried with me for a long time, was that damn fear. You know,
Wayne, that religion got a lot out of me too, bro.
It also got into my pocket for over $1 million, but that's okay. You know, I figured
money you can always make more of, but time is a commodity that once spent, you can never get it back. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. What's really important.
It is.
Wayne, what do you think about, I did a little show yesterday that, again, just hit me. The pentagram is a protective symbol when it's right side up. And almost all its use in law enforcement is ubiquitous. They keep it right side up. Somebody understands that the pentagram is a protective symbol. But what do you think about the pentagram in general?
It's a powerful sigil.
I agree.
No doubt about it. And whether you adapt it for your own sigil, I contend it's actually a portal, is what I say.
A portal.
Yeah.
Let me show you something. And I hope I don't embarrass anyone, but I want to show you something, Wayne, that I think is really profound. And if I embarrass this person, oh, well, you shouldn't have sent it to me. Because if you send something to me and you don't say don't use it, I might.
It's like, hey.
Fair warning. So check this out, Wayne. Somebody sent me this morning. I woke up and it was in my inbox. And, you know, it ends up with the pentagram. But down here, 1 point, unity consciousness.
Yeah.
2 points is 2D, movement, separation. It's a line. 3D, you get a triangle, the place of physical manifestation, obviously where we are right now. 4D, 4 faces of God, 4 pillars, 4 angles, 444 angel numbers of protection. And then when you get to 50, which is a pentagram, the reason why it's protection is because it's the 5th dimension.
Yeah. Very good.
Interesting stuff, huh?
Very good.
Return to self, dimension of love and integrity.
What gets deeper than that, when you see it it's a symbol of power. Everyone in the United States know what's a shield. You know,
right?
That's what they call it, is a shield.
Yeah.
So think about it. It's a pentagram shield.
So getting to 5D isn't really about ascending and being all holy and stuff. It's about getting to a place of self, a place of integrity, a place of power, and a place of protection.
Yes, you know, I'm glad you brought this up, Jeff. That's a very good point. You know, everyone talks.
Mine. I just stole it.
Well, it's public domain now, so. But very much favor back to the person who had that great insight. You're definitely plugged into the right power source. So
it's a nut, but you're screwed onto the right bolt.
Exactly, and it kind of really, you know, dictates, you know, when you think about it, how our lives are really. We think that it's no power, but I defy anyone who has a badge. Law enforcement. Think about this. They're enforcing the law, and they have a shield with a pentagram that allows them to go forth as representatives of the law.
Yeah.
And, you know, anyone who's been on, you know, Lexington and I'm trying to think there in New York City, that when you got a traffic cop sitting in the intersection,
this point
holds his hand up. It's amazing his power.
It is.
I mean, he can stop automobiles, Jeff, that outweigh him 200 to 1.
He's like Superman.
Isn't he, though?
Or she's like Superwoman.
And if you transgress him, then they're going to put you under arrest.
And think about this, Wayne, as far as the pentagram as a protection symbol. I mean, law enforcement, every day they go out, and there's people that want to shoot them, people that want to kill them. They face a lot of danger. And percentage-wise, very, 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 very few of them, percentage-wise, ever really get killed. Now, our hearts go out to those that do get killed in the line of duty. But for that job and for the propensity towards damage, very few of them get hurt. Is the pentagram protection symbol at least partially responsible for that?
I absolutely believe that. But I will say this, even in the days of our ancestors, when you would have those who would violate that barrier, there is a price to be paid. And I think it's one that has to be settled before you move on, even in the afterlife.
What do you mean, Wayne?
Well, because I believe that there are laws and principles that transcend both physical and spiritual. And that the average person that goes through life has what I would call a monicum of respect. They understand instinctively that there are higher powers to be. Now, in that, we then, as a society, we bring to ourselves those, and I'll just be very candid with you. I find people who want, for the most part, that want to do in law enforcement, they're servants. They really do have a servant's heart. And that's how many of them go, because they want to help mankind. They want to fight the evil that's out there.
And Wayne, Jude Outlaw just said, when you put under arrest, you're put under a rest. And really, when it's the way it's supposed to be, it's not punitive. It's just kind of putting you in a timeout so you can calm down before you really get yourself in trouble. So you kind of are under a rest.
Imagine if you were to take to jail that instead of being in the confinements of where we get this more violent, predatory environment, what if you were going in there and you have to sit and meditate for 8 hours?
Well, that'd be a good one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we would build these facilities where, what are you in here for? Domestic violence. Well, here we go. Here's a place where you can go, and we begin to teach you where the problem really is. And I know that sounds far-fetched, but hey, it's true, though.
It is true, but that would mean that you really want to rehabilitate people and not just warehouse them for money, Wayne.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And you know, when
Where's
I just
the profit in that, Wayne?
There's no profit. And when we were talking about holding up the hand, you know, the shield and what have you, how many preachers and evangelists in our days have we not seen do the same thing?
Do what thing?
Hold up their hand. You know, they will hold up their hand to either bless or anoint the audience.
Yeah.
They will use their hand in invocations.
Yeah.
True or true or not?
Brow sweat with it.
Look at that. I mean, is it true or is it not?
It is true.
Yeah. I mean, I think about the Vatican. I mean, Christianity is so full of sigils that we don't study these sigils. We don't know what they mean. But we come in and we will submit ourselves to them, never understanding their power or their influence.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff. And I mean, and yeah, there's just a lot here, a lot going on in this conversation.
It's deep. It's real deep. And you're going out to the desert. And as I guess the idea is, again, connecting with that. And I think that you're going to be looking at pictographs and what have you. Is that right? As I understand?
Well, as I understand it, I'm not really quite sure either, but as I understand it, we'll be going out. Rex will be there, Derek will be there, I'll be there. So we'll have 3 separate teams broadcasting live via satellite hookup, going out to Hopi, things on the Hopi reservation, caves, pictographs, sacred sites, and then also beyond that out into Monument Valley. So we'll be out looking at stuff, showing people stuff, trying to decipher stuff. Everybody wants to see something in the cave. I don't know if I'm really worried about that, but it'll be a great time to get out there and experience sacred ground. It'll be a great time to get out there. I can't wait to be there at night and look up and see the sky. And plus, we've got this FLIR, night vision stuff that we're going to be using. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of sleeping going on. There should be.
It's going to be cold. I'm going to tell you that. It's going to be cold.
Wayne, if I wore my wetsuit out there under my clothes, would that be a good or a bad idea?
That's a smart idea, as long as you don't get sweaty, But that's a good idea. It's a good insulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have plenty of long johns here, but I can't get them to you anyway.
I got some long johns yesterday, so I think I'll be straight.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. So when you're out there, become sensitively aware of sigils.
Oh, that's a great idea.
The more I keep studying sigils, and I'm actually making my own, it's quite interesting. So our Christianity, I studied, under many Messianic Jews that had converted over to Christianity. All the families, all the tribes had their own sigils. You could say that the ephod of, help me out, with Moses,
breastplate and stuff.
Yes. All right. Who was Moses? I can't even remember.
Aaron.
Huh?
Aaron.
Thank you. All sigils. I mean, the breastplate that they made, for the high priest to wear out, with the stones that were to be configured in a specific way. Everything is heavily with these sigils. The pictures that they showed in Saudi Arabia of Mount Sinai, where it's still burnt to this day. But the ancient sigils that these Hebrews left out in that desert is quite freaky.
I was just thinking about that, Wayne. If we thinking about Monument Valley, and if we just looked at the earth itself from a high level, how many formations would we see that are actually sigils? And then would those formations be somewhat less than just naturally occurring?
Oh, there is so much to this. They're portals. And we term them today in our modern vernacular. We see it as through the eyes of Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate 1, that we understand that there are these things called portals. They're wormholes. We get that. We understand now more and more the physics of it. We understand that we know from the physics point of view, it's very real. It's these sigils. And again, getting back to when you and I started this conversation almost a half hour ago, when we talk about these angelic demonic beings, all of them have sigils.
They do.
When you study the angelic language, there's some old books out there you can find. That language is sigil language.
Are we talking about Enochian?
Yes.
Wayne, I was just thinking, one of the times I was on Coast to Coast, I don't know if it was the last time or not, but we were talking about the Nazca lines. Everybody knows what those are, those big pictures. And it was one of those weird times where George and I were just talking, like we forgot we're on a radio show. And George said something to the effect of, you know what? What if those lines weren't drawn for aliens to see them, but what if they were drawn for people to learn to astral project, and you could only graduate when you could have projected and identified what animal or what form it was by the lines? And then to take your analogy a step further, what if those lines are really portals?
I agree. So what is the place down in, I'm trying to think, is it Chile or is it? It's one of the ones down there that you can. They say that you can walk up to it. It's carved in the side of this mountain, and they say that there were those who could actually begin to emanate a frequency, and this stone entry would suddenly become a portal.
Whoa, I've never heard of that. That's pretty
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm almost sure that it is in Chile. I'm almost sure, but I'll send it to you.
Chile or Peru, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it is Peru.
Machu and all that.
It's in that same general area. Yep.
Catherine Marsh says it's in Peru near Puno.
Thank you. You are correct. He gets the coffee today.
That was Catherine, so she would get it. But what was I just gonna? Oh, somebody asked, did anybody feel a surge of energy last night? I did not.
I was up at 4:00, so I don't know. You know what? I'll share something with you in the audience. I told my wife this yesterday. Saturday morning, I dreamt that I was a child.
Really?
I was a different looking child, and I was sitting next to a girl, a little older than I was, who was my sister. I knew I knew it was like, you're watching a movie, and it was really weird. I knew that I was in this kid's body, but yet I could see myself standing outside. So I told Lynn, I said, so what does that mean?
That place is near Lake Titicaca.
Thank you. That is be correct. And they say that particularly shaman, those who have the understanding can, that's why I tell people to practice your spirit song. I do it when I'm in the shower. But
okay, Wayne, you got to tell us what your spirit song is.
Well, your spirit song is a natural frequency that if you will begin to discipline the vocal cords, you can begin to emanate certain harmonics, certain frequencies, and your body will do this. And I do believe that it is invoked by your spirit person, who I think does contain all knowledge.
Now, this is interesting. Wayne, you talked about getting up at 4 a.m. I've talked to a person recently that's been getting up at 4 a.m. And there's a lot of people in the chat room that's seeming to be a common occurrence, people waking up at 4 a.m. Hello, Caroline. Caroline and I had a moment the other day, but I think she was wrong about something, but that's okay. And see, you can still be in fellowship with people even when you think they really screwed up.
Sure. But so a lot of people getting that same thing. Something's happening. And why would I wake up thinking about the angelics? That how did they become about? I
this, Wayne. Someone in the chat room says that she vibrated her car. One time she vibrated the underpass that she was under too. Wow. Oh. John's waking up at 4 a.m. for about a month.
Yeah.
Newton's Prophecy 4. Catherine Marsh 4. Cynthia 4.
Okay, so listen, if we were just doing a random sampling, we're off the scale here, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to write this down. Something is going on. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. How many would you just estimate, John? I mean,
I don't know,
where did that come from?
Robert, USN vet, says he gets up every day at 4 a.m. At least 10, Wayne, out of 300.
Well, that's we're starting to get up.
Warrior Princess 4 a.m. D Gunyon 4 a.m.
See?
Cantel 4 a.m. So it's more like 20. And if half of them are lying, it's still 10.
Well, so we've got a little over 300 watching us now. So, when
baby's been waking up at 4 a.m.
So we're hitting somewhere in the 5-7 percentile range. That is significant.
That is significant.
It's very interesting. So something's going on. I'll just say this. So I was on.
I feel like I must be missing something, Wayne.
You'll catch up. Well, you have some odd hours though. Your energy kind of flows in. You're what we call, you don't sleep a normal, as you have said, 8-10 hours.
I've been called a lot of things, Wayne, but rarely normal.
Had that discussion. It's like, okay. So think about this. In the last 7 days, we've seen multiple government agencies from NASA, the European Space Agency, the list goes on, now switching the story. The biggest one, I think, that was last week was that they announced that at the ionosphere, Earth is losing. They're saying we're about to set a space record, whatever that means.
What does that mean?
It means that we are losing heat at an unprecedented rate that they're either just now being able to measure it or something is really going on.
Wayne, just as you say that, Theodora Christopher says in the chat room that temperature is fake. It's much colder than it seems.
Yeah. And
weird right there.
They're saying that if this continues, that we could enter into a rapid ice age in less than 2 months.
In less than 2 months?
That's NASA. I didn't say that. I have the stories. I've saved them in my archives. Then we get the release Friday that now 2 things. Number one, our satellite spectrometry is now seeing that under the mantle, there are oceans of water. Then they announced right behind that there are vast amounts of water around the world disappearing.
Huh. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Somebody says, what do you think about a black hurricane coming? I don't know about any black hurricane coming. Do you, Wayne?
It's talking about dark matter, but the problem with that is that no science, no scientist, no organization has ever been able to prove dark matter.
Yeah.
So how can you say a dark matter hurricane is coming when we can't prove dark matter? I can show people white physics paper after white paper after published paper, peer review paper. They can't find it.
But it's a great way to stir people up and get some YouTube clicks.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's so people become disturbed.
Loud.
I say that we need to be more concerned with what's happening to our sun right now. We have been since Thursday, folks, and Jeff, just to let everyone know, in a negative KP index. We have been bombarded, all of us have, by intense cosmic rays coming in. And this sun of ours is, if it was a patient, it's on life support.
My gut agrees with Caroline, says that the dark matter hurricane is another psyop.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I mean, you want to talk about gamma rays? You want to talk about other type of waves of energy? Yeah, I would believe that. I don't know what dark matter is. It's like, you have matter, then you have antimatter. You have gravity, you have anti-gravity.
Right.
Well, so what is dark matter? It's the thing that we're trying to define what holds the universe together. It can't be gravity. There's not enough of it, or at least not enough of what we understand. There is this, and I contend, folks, instead of thinking of dark matter, think about the fact that we're in a dark reality. Everything in this plane of existence is anti-light.
It really is, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. The very fabric, the background of this fabric of space-time is darkness. So think about this, Jeff. It's everywhere. The only thing that breaks up the darkness is the light, but eventually the light will succumb to the darkness. So if we say that there's potentially dark matter, that's the substance that holds everything together, then it tells me that there has to be another plane of existence that is all anti-darkness.
Oh, that's a good point. If this one is so dominated by darkness, there's got to be another reality that's dominated by light. And maybe we're the ambassadors of that light.
We are. Thank you, sir.
That's why they're fighting us so much.
We are the light beings.
And I'm telling you, folks, and I know that I take a lot of heat when I say this, but what brings the darkness? I'm telling you, there's a reason why we're told that the true God, does not give us the spirit of fear, because the spirit of fear is what brings darkness, and we need to resist the spirit of fear and embrace the opposite of fear, which will bring light.
So I contend, Jeff, that we are gods in boot camp.
No doubt about it. I mean, if you haven't got that yet, I really don't know how much I can help you.
I send them to you. I said, go to Jeff first and, get yourself indoctrinated and then come on in here into the group and you can catch up. But so I think that as beings of light, how could we become a god if we didn't understand the reality of darkness?
Right.
How would you base that on? It's the whole contention. I did this program.
Ooh, if hit another one, perfect love casts out all fear.
It does. Yeah. And that love is that frequency. It's that vibration.
So would perfect love cast out all darkness?
I think it will. I think it's one that can. And it may be darkness isn't as what we perceive it as, this nefarious, forbidding type.
Right.
What's that?
Right.
Yeah. It's just the reality of it. In the book Phoenix Rising, No Eyes was able to astral project up to what she described as the time courier.
Ooh.
And she said that man doesn't understand time. And it's a fact that time is ever flowing, as she teaches. If the future exists, then that means the future has to contain events.
Right.
Because the past contains event, our present contains events. It's just as to what the manner of how those events unfold, but surely they do unfold.
Wayne, here's another thing. I mean, this is kind of blowing my mind. Whoops, I just lost it. The chat skipped on me. I got to find it again. Here it is. So, like assumptions, things we assume. And this is a guy that makes his living by fixing nuclear power plants. So he's kind of
yeah, you got to be a little smart on that one.
He says, is the Schumann resonance a frequency beamed at Earth from Saturn and maybe even the moon? If so, is it a measure of the control signal used on humanity?
I have a whole video that on Saturn. I would say that there is good evidence, yes.
So the Schumann resonance might not be a good thing. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I think they say it is, in fact, the heartbeat of the Earth. And, it depends on how you look at it. Now, according to Indian prophecy, Native American Indians, that what we're experiencing in the Schumann resonance by these high frequencies, these are birth pangs. These are labor pains.
Ooh.
And she says that the Earth is about to give birth to the Phoenix.
Who's she?
This is No Eyes. She lived right here in just literally 40 miles west of where we live.
Interesting.
We know, Lynn and I know the area up there. And anyway, she has crossed over. She's on the other side now. But Jeff, she gave a list of things that she said would in fact happen, that these were all progenitors of this. And my friend, she's batting about 99.
Wow. Out of 100, right? So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, yeah, she says that we're going to be entering, and get this, that now she's passed on. She saw this.
Oh, she's passed on. Okay.
She's passed on. She saw the masses, society. She saw that the masses would not be able to concentrate, that they would be constantly, their focus would be on something else. And she said, because of this, we would begin to see more and more traffic, airplanes falling out of the sky, trains being derailed with because mechanics making mistakes on cars, because we can't focus anymore, and that the rate of accidents will continue to increase. And sure enough, all you have to do is go back and look at the national stats, and most of these errors, the train wrecks in Philadelphia, the one that happened in Washington State. All of these were because of the personnel who lost their concentration.
That's interesting. And you think about all of this ADHD thing going on and all these prescriptions of all this stuff. So at least people think they're more distracted than ever before.
Now, she also warned, she said, be aware of the green light. She said, when you start seeing sunsets, sunrises, middle of the days where the atmosphere start turning different colors, she said, when it gets to the green color, she says, that's another progenitor of something that's really going to take place. She saw 2 nuclear exchanges. One, she saw New York City being nuked. There is a storage facility. She says it's the Rocky Flats storage facility that will be hit with an earthquake that will cause a rupture in the containment of this radioactive waste. Now, I did not know this, but she said that there would be ancient volcanoes erupting and becoming active again. And she said, such as the one down in Cripple Creek. Jeff, I've lived here nearly 15 years. I know where Cripple Creek is. Been there. I did not know that it's it's in an ancient volcanic crater.
Interesting.
Oh, so yeah.
Interesting. And I just feel like I need to say this, and maybe I shouldn't, but when we come out of Christianity or out of Judaism or out of Islam, when we come out of a fear and guilt control system, you know, we're very happy to have escaped the pastor. We're very happy to escape the priest. We're very happy to escape the minister. And we get to this place that we think is freedom. And all too often, many of us will go from a pastor to a guru, from a priest to a card reader, from a minister to a psychic. And going from one person telling you what to do and what to think and what to believe, going to another person telling you what to do, what to think, and what to believe, that's not progress. And if you used to listen to your preacher and believe everything he says and do everything he said, and now you're listening to somebody else on YouTube doing everything they say and believing everything they say, you haven't advanced one iota. You've changed one master for another, and you're still a slave. Unindoctrinate yourself. Be your own guru. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. I don't care if it's Wayne Steiger or Jeffrey Darty. You cannot listen to what we say and just do it. You got to have your own ideas, for God's sake.
You got to read.
Sorry, Wayne.
No, you've got to read. You've got to. My wife, I love her because she lets me have a budget that I can buy books because I can't have a tendency to go overboard.
That's fun. When I was married to the mother of my children, I had the same thing because it was bad. I'd come home and spend too much on books. That's funny. We're kindred spirits.
Same way. And, you know, you get to a point, you know, it's odd that you said that because I was meditating on that. I said, so where are we at, Wayne? I speak to myself sometimes in the third person. And I said,
you know, crazy people do that, Wayne.
Well, you know, I often say the best conversations I have are amongst myself.
That worries Jimmy.
Yeah, I listen, you know. But, you know, I've come to this point where I'm at peace. I don't fear spirits anymore. Don't have a problem with them. I mean, I jokingly say that, you know, if Satan was to actually exist, I'd probably sit down and say, well, all right, let's talk about origins here. You know?
Well, you know, our good buddy, R.W. Shambach, Wayne, our former,
yes.
He was talking to me one time when we were in Denny's and he was eating this huge plate of food. No, it wasn't Denny's. We were at Shoney's and he had just got, Brother Jeff, go get me one of them plates from the buffet and make it big. So I came back and he said they're eating his plate, but he says, you know, and this is the kind of guy R.W. Shambach was, and whether it was really Satan or not isn't the point. The point is the attitude, because somehow the devil came up, and I'd always been afraid of the devil. And R.W. Shambach says, Jeffrey, let me tell you about the devil. He says, every now and then the devil will come and sit down at the end of my bed. I look up and say, "Oh, it's just you, devil." I roll back over and go to sleep.
And that's what
we're
you got to
talking
do,
about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I want to find out. You know, I told someone this recently. They were afraid of the dark. An adult going down in their basement was a big deal, and I said, "Well," I said, first of all, think about this. How bad of a punishment is it for a spirit to have to sit in your basement?
Oh, that's good.
I said, so there's your first clue right there, darling. You know, if they're in your basement, then it's a punishment. So you're
Is anybody ever afraid of the light, Wayne?
You know, I haven't found anyone. Have you?
No.
No, it's always the dark. You know, it's like, I don't want to go down there. It's like, it's just you, darling. It's just you. But if they were to manifest, you know, I'm going to say, whoa, time out. Let's just, now, who are you again? And where are you from? And who do you know, if we looked at it like this, I'm a god. You're either going to kiss my ass or you're going to answer my questions.
I like that. And it reminds me of Captain Kirk in Star Trek V.
Thank you.
And they were talking about fears and all this. And Kirk very dramatically says, "I fear nothing." And that's where you got to get, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, I ask people, so why are you afraid of ghosts? I mean, the fact that if you say that there are ghosts, you should be celebrating, you should be doing a happy dance, because now you have affirmation that there is life after this.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so dance, you know? Well, they bother me. Well, listen, if they're bothering you, again, get up and dance. It's cool. It means there's an afterlife. Because, Jeff, isn't it true? What I have found with most people, and I was there, the biggest fear that you really have about death is no consciousness.
Oh, that's a good one. Everything I needed to know in life, I learned from watching Star Trek.
And it works. Profound. I say that Gene Roddenberry was a traveler.
He was. Gene Roddenberry was dialed in. He knew some stuff.
You know, the guy was plugged into something. I mean, you want to call it the Akashic record? Yeah, I don't know what it was, but you look at back his shows and what he brought to our consciousness, and now today it's becoming tricorders are becoming reality now.
They are.
I mean, is that something else? I mean, yeah, come on.
I mean, the communicators, I mean, that's obviously our cell phones.
Yeah.
The medical scanners that they had in the sick bay, those are reality now. He saw this stuff. He knew it was coming.
What was it? Star Trek? Was it The Return when they went to San Francisco and Scotty's there and they using I think that was
Spock, Star Trek 3.
And then it was the one, so it would be The Return Home, whatever it was, where Scotty's talking to a Mac and he says, "Computer?"
Yeah, that was Star Trek 3.
Okay, so Star Trek 3, we see it, and today, now our computers...
No, that was the whale one. What was that one called? What was
it was the fourth one. I think it was The Journey Home, or...
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, he's talking to the computer, and the guy says, "Use the mouse." And he picks
use
the mouse. Computer.
But we're there now.
Just use the keyboard. Oh, how quaint. Yeah.
I look at what Facebook is doing, Google, Amazon, with these echoes, portals. I mean, isn't it odd? Facebook's new home device is called Portal.
Isn't that something? And Wayne, even though this will make people mad, it'll make your point. Alexa, what's the temperature in Denver, Colorado?
Right now, in Denver, Colorado, it's 19 degrees.
It's 19 degrees. I just spoke to the computer.
You see, folks? And she's listening. Yeah, everything that's being said. It's we are at that.
Me up, Scotty was never said on a Star Trek episode.
Yeah.
By the way.
The other thing is that we're now seeing our devices, the machine, refrigerators, stoves, washers, dryers, all becoming smart machines.
You can talk to your refrigerator now?
Yeah, you can.
I didn't know that.
Go to home
refrigerator.
Go to Home Depot and look at the or Lowe's. You can now see that they have, and it is the Samsung that you can buy. It's a smart refrigerator.
Oh, it's funny. Steady Eddie says, wouldn't it be funny if she just said it's cold? Davey says, do a show interviewing Alexa. That might be interesting. It's just a program, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's not, I don't know, but that's interesting.
Well, it's the Alexa devices that people are reporting that's waking them up around 4 a.m. with the creepiest laugh, too.
Yeah, I heard that once. They said it was a programming bug, and it doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, but there's 4 a.m. again, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it was 3 a.m. Did we miss something?
Oh, Tracy said that those smart refrigerators will buy your groceries, too.
Yeah. So, am I wrong on this?
He says, Ashley, Alexa's very boring conversationally. Here's a woman with too much time on her hands. Good thing you just got engaged, Kat.
Congratulations, by the way. So think about this, my friend. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but all these new conveniences, home delivery, it seems like we're becoming prisoners to our own homes.
Why don't they want us out of our home, Wayne?
Yeah. It's like you have more free time. What, to spend at home?
That's interesting.
I don't like this new technology here that they're deploying at DIA.
An $8,000 refrigerator? Wow.
Yeah, they can. Is the facial recognition that they're deploying now. And here's the freaky thing is, they're allowing merchants to tie into that. So now, let's say you're in a mall area, you as a merchant can plug into this, and the facial scan AI will look at customers, and it will compare these customers if they're in your database, if they're customers of yours. You can immediately identify in a group that what would be a VIP, what would be a blacklist. It's freaky.
And Wayne, there's actually churches now that are using facial recognition to scan the congregation, and they don't see you. They're like sending somebody to find out where you've been and stuff like that, or if you're not paying your tithe.
Yes.
Facial recognition in churches, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, doesn't God know my face already? I don't know, Jeff. I mean, this is getting weird, brother. I mean, it's getting weird.
And that goes back to another Star Trek episode. Kirk challenges God. God says, who is this? He's like, who am I? Aren't you God? Don't you know?
Don't you know? I mean, the other thing is there's something happening to our atmosphere. I'm going to do a show tomorrow night with Dr. Albers. Jeff, all around the world, purple sunrises, purple sunsets. We're getting.
If they ever have purple rain, then I'll really be worried.
They have purple rainbows. That is a physical impossibility, at least with the light of our sun.
Do you think they're putting a bunch of stuff in the atmosphere, which is messing up the refraction of light?
I think that it's so messed up there. Yeah, I mean, you think about a light shift to get into where you've got purple being manifested in the atmosphere. It's a clear shift. It just is. Something has changed. It's very, very, very weird. I'm just telling you, it's just some crazy stuff going on.
It is crazy stuff. I haven't seen any green lights, though, Wayne, in the sky yet.
How about your sunsets? How are your, you live right there. You're facing east, so the sun's setting over the Gulf of Mexico, right?
Yeah, the sun sets over the Gulf of Mexico here. Yep, and I see that every day.
Are your sunsets, are they pink? How do you see?
Well, lately they've been very cloudy, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, and, not real clouds, so just weird clouds. But, yeah, they're still pink and orange. I've not seen any green. We do have something here every now and then that's called the blue flash. Every now and then, as the sun goes down, there's this flash of blue light that everybody hopes to see, but you rarely do. But, yeah, to me, and I'll just confess, to me, the sun still looks like it always has. I still go out and get tans and feel better. I don't know. I'm not. That's just me.
It's the UV index that where we are. Of course, we're nearly 6,000 feet up, but the UV index, what we're seeing, the indexes are going higher and higher. Our local news 10 years ago you never saw a UV index go above 8 or 9. Now, weather stations are covering UV indexes that are going up to 13, 15.
Wow.
So those are, we know the cosmic rays, these are the things that we are finding out.
Is it a blue flash? Cynthia, is it a blue flash or is it a green flash? I thought it was a blue flash here. Somebody let me know. I'm hearing people say, no, it's just a green flash. But
I saw that.
It's a blue flash here. So we'll see what these other people that have been here, that live here, weigh in with.
Blazing River says she's at 8,000 feet. So that's the question we have to do, because these purple sunsets are just getting really. I have one person who sent me a picture from up in Canada, up around the Arctic Circle, and the snow was purple. It wasn't physically purple, but the light was. And so it gave this illusion to this purple looking snow. It's very bizarre.
Interesting. And of course, now when I asked, no one will help a brother out.
Well, and just think about this as well, Jeff. Jupiter, we have seen there, it's going through a dramatic transformation right now. But the thing is, Jupiter is collecting new moons almost by the month.
So that would have to be gravity related, right?
Well, I think it says that we're in a debris field.
I know that you're not supposed to eat yellow snow.
Yeah, I don't know about the purple one. But I do know that, they released, I think it was last week as well, that the Earth is now, they're detecting a dust cloud around the Earth. The ISS released one of the most phenomenal photos that they showed the Earth under this orange glow. And that is actually the light hitting this dust cloud that is now apparently, Jeff, they're saying that we could potentially have 2 new moons, but they call them dust bunnies.
Dust bunnies?
Yes, sir. That's what PhDs are calling this thing. But the bottom line of it is they do admit that the Earth is now becoming more enwrapped in a dust cloud.
Where's the dust coming from?
That's the $64 million question.
Yeah.
I
don't know. That's weird.
You can check all these articles. They're out there. I'll have them all up tomorrow so everyone can take a look at it. But now that we know that it begins to answer a lot of questions for us. A lot.
And it begins to cause us to ask a lot more too.
It should. It's this whole trip. I mean, no matter how I look at it, Jeff, this life, when I bought the ticket, it has delivered way more than I ever thought.
It's an e-ticket ride, huh, Wayne?
It is. I tell you, I think when they told us, they said, now, if you buy this ticket, you're going to experience something you'll never experience again. And we probably came into it half skeptical, going, oh, yeah. I don't know about you, Jeff, but wow.
Well, Bill Hicks said life is a ride.
It is.
And it really is.
It is.
And I don't want to spoil one of my morning mantras, but life is a game and you have to play to win. And I don't mean play to win. I mean, you have to play, have fun, enjoy, be silly, be childlike, be happy, be fun, have a good time. That's the only way to win. They want to teach you to play to win, emphasizing the win, but the win is not the emphasis. The play is the emphasis.
Yeah. And
if
smile.
you focus on the win, you won't play, but if you focus on the play, you always win.
And you do a good job on that. I enjoy your daily mantras.
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. That's how I compliment.
Griffin
is doing somersaults in the chat room.
I dance all the time.
Sterling. Yeah, I'm cold. That's why I got this sweatsuit.
and we keep it in our house. Our house is, the first thing my wife found when we moved in together was that I like keeping the temperature about 64. Now I've had to compromise. We keep it at 66, but yeah, I love the cold.
I do too.
If
you can hang meat, it's about right.
That's how it is. I sleep with a fan with the window open.
Oh, nice. And your wife still sleeps with you?
She actually sleeps. That's true love.
Wow, that is true love. That is true love.
But you'll keep healthier. I do know that. I don't know why, but I guess those viruses love to grow at that 72 perfect degree temperature. I don't know.
There may be something to that. And there was a couple people that made an interesting statement. I know we need to get going, but they said, is it possible that the sun will either hurt you or help you depending upon the toxicity in your own body or the state of your own spiritual development?
I think that's true.
That's very interesting.
It's very true. I still like, the bronze books, in the Colburn Bible. One of the stories of creation there was that the original people here, us, we lived in a what they called a shadow light. And this sun was not here. That when this new God moved into the solar system, it brought this sun. And what happened was it killed most of the life forms on this planet. And they had to go back and basically they said to rebuild a new species that could live under this sun. So I don't know.
People making good points. I mean, why do you put your food in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
It stays fresh longer, right?
It does. I have right over my whiteboard, I have this.
Yeah.
Were Homo sapiens ever really designed to live into the sun? It does us more harm. It ages us.
It does.
Yeah.
It does age us.
And
you're living in cold places, Wayne.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we'll find out with the Denisons, the Homo Denisons that here, they were more cave dwellers. They were good-looking people.
And I was reading an article, or I saw the article, I didn't read it, that was talking about the benefits of a cold plunge, jumping into cold water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are also some detriments, so just make sure that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it if you have, if you haven't, if you're not at least, I think, in good shape, because it will shock your system.
It will shock your system, but it is good for you. I used to do that all the time when I had a pool. I'd like to jump in when it was cold, and it wakes you up and invigorates you.
I think it also strengthens the immune system.
Yep.
At least that's what I subscribe to. Take a cold shower. Jeff, that's the only time.
Good. I don't think it ages. I'm talking about the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, overexposure to the sun, obviously it's not good for your skin.
Well, you look at people who worship tanning. They look great. By the time they're 60, they look like they're prunes.
It's Wayne, and it's a lot earlier than 60 today. I mean, I've seen people, encroaching into their 40s, and it's like, ooh, you better watch out.
It's not the same sun anymore.
That's a decent point.
And I'll just say this, and this is not
there it is, Tracy Dyer
controversial, right or left. Our sun, we don't understand it. There is a great video out there about the 5 different color suns that our species has recorded. When I was growing up, the sun was more yellow. The sun today is more white.
See, I don't have that cognitive as a cognitive memory.
Yeah.
But I'll start thinking, and I still like the sun. I still love the sun. It still makes me feel great. So I don't know how it could be a fake sun if it still makes me feel good, but that's just me.
Well, I don't know if it's a fake sun. I'm there are sun simulators. I mean, China announced this week they showed their first sun simulator. I keep asking, well, why are they wanting the sun simulators?
Well, Robert says it's not the sun, so I might have to rethink it a little bit.
Then again, there is this theory that says that we're actually living under a holographic canopy, and the Bible calls it the firmament.
Yeah, I don't know, Wayne.
I'm just saying, brother, that's, it's in there. The firmament was separated, and, I say that because I think this weekend is their large convention of flat earthers that are here.
Oh, that's right, in Colorado, which is interesting, Wayne, that they always flock to Colorado.
They do. It's like, you know why they're here?
No.
Because of the pot.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, all you have to do is just go into your local pot store and,
You don't have to have a license or anything?
No, just driver's license.
So you can go into, what if I got a Florida driver's license?
Doesn't matter.
Stuff, but
they love it. You out of towners,
is it all GMO pot?
No, actually, I would have to say much of the dispensaries here, they're very the laws in Colorado are very strict on what you sell to the public. And I have to say, these people are connoisseurs and they are diligent. They don't like pesticides. They don't do any of this. I mean, yeah.
So
but that's why they're here.
She just wrote a cover story about coronal mass ejections and the electric grid. That sounds like a couple of bands to me. I don't even know what she's talking about. That's smart.
What's that? Oh,
coronal mass ejections and the electrical grid.
We're finding out, the whole universe is electric. I listen, I don't know. As I was telling April on her radio show yesterday that 5G, we know that this thing messes with people's heads.
Who's April, Wayne?
Our friend up in Ottawa, Canada. She has the college radio station. I think you've been on her, hasn't she?
Oh, yeah. April Chenoweth or something, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I need to get back with her. I didn't intentionally blow her off one time, but that's probably what it looked like to her. How was the show?
It was great. I love the Canadians up there. They're groovy people. They really are. And I love our conversations because with April, she's so diverse in her knowledge and subject matter that the hour just goes by like this. I mean, it's like, wow.
April, contact me again. I'll do it. I promise.
So, and so I love the Canadians up there, and they're good people. Cold up there right now. Cold up.
Being sent and I don't know how they say it, Wayne. They got this word that starts with a T that means a hat and some gloves, and they're sending it to me. So,
I'm cool.
Getting that.
Yeah, you're going to need that. I can just tell you, there is a possible event happening on December 12th, and what we're seeing now, there is another extreme cold wave coming in. So you're going to be there, what, on the 28th?
We'll be there. I'll get there on the 27th and leave the 2nd of December.
Okay. All right. Well, just make sure that RV has some good warm temperatures in it.
Well, they rented it, so it's a nice RV. So I'm
excellent.
Looking forward to it.
You're not going to be sleeping out under the stars then.
No. I'm not going to be doing that.
Well, that's truly getting grounded to nature.
Yeah, I'll
cold.
ground when it's warm outside or warmer.
Yeah. My wife she loves camping, and as I told her, I said, the problem I have now, and this is my phobia, I don't like ticks. Ticks, yeah. I caught Lyme disease from a tick, and now they've got these exotic diseases being spread by ticks. Your area has a terrible infestation with the ticks down there.
Yeah, we got a lot of ticks.
Yeah, just so anyway, you shouldn't have any of that in the desert. What? Scorpion?
I don't think so.
Rattlesnakes?
Yeah,
they'll all be under the ground.
Yeah, and it'll be cold, so they'll be.
Well, so you come. So we should do a show on Sunday out there. Or are you going to be on a flight coming back?
I'm actually going up to Kansas City after that, so we can do a show. Well, yeah, we'll do a show next week. I'll be doing it. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to do it that Sunday, Wings. I'll be on an airplane, I think, at our time.
Okay. Well, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, that would be the next. I'm just looking at the calendar here.
That would be what, the 24th, 25th?
So the 25th, we're good. That's next Sunday.
Okay.
The 2nd, I don't think we'll be able to do it because I'll be on an airplane at our normal time. So we'll have to take a break on the 2nd.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Well, fly the friendly skies.
Or we could do it at a later time. We'll talk about it.
Well, hey, it's the great thing about it is we're coming up into the holiday season, right?
We are. Why is that a great thing?
I don't know. This year it's weird. I don't celebrate it anymore in anything of the religious thing, but now I see it as a renewal for Earth.
I like that.
And
That's a nice way to think about it.
yeah, and so my wife and I this year, she's decorating all out because it's a different point of view. You know, it's like, why shouldn't we give acknowledgement to the Earth? She certainly gives it enough to us.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I agree.
yeah.
Wayne,
Wow, Jeff, look at that. Almost 400 people in here. What the heck are they doing?
I know. And we're over an hour and 15 minutes, but
Yeah. Well,
good stuff. Really, really good stuff.
oh, I tell you, this is just incredible.
Too bad you couldn't be down in the desert, Wayne. That'd be nice to see you and Lynn down there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't even know about this until last week. So it shows you, it was just, but
I'm not sure what it's going to be like. I do have some trepidations, but I think it's going to be interesting to be out there anyway.
Well, you have the opportunity, Jeff. You know, we can live vicariously through your experience. It's called voyeurism.
That sounds a little creepy, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, the true sense of the word, that's what it is. I mean, you know, you could say that God is a voyeur, you know.
Oh, God's the ultimate voyeur, huh?
Isn't he? I mean, he's looking in all the time. There's no privacy. And what about this, Jeff? What about this? I have right here. So this week I had some strange things happen. I actually had on Thursday missing time.
You had missing time?
Yes, sir. It freaked me out.
Tell me about
it. It was weird. You know, I do a lot of meditation. When I'm in the shower, I practice this form of spirit song. I got out of the shower.
Do you actually sing, Wayne, when you're doing spirit song?
Pardon?
Do you actually sing when you're doing spirit song?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yep. And I got out and I was doing my mirror reflection meditation. The next thing I know is at my desk. And
were you naked still?
I was dressed. I was fully dressed. Yeah. No, when in my desk, I was unclothed doing the mirror exercises, reflection, but I'm in the best I can tell is 15 minutes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Just gone. I called my wife. It freaked me out. You know, it was a little unnerving. It's like I have a very sharp memory. My wife will tell you if there's something I would say of my vanity would be my memory. You know,
interesting. So Caroline says you timeline jumped.
I did something. It was really strange. Very, very strange. And I've never experienced that before. Never.
I've timeline jumped recently too. It's
what happened? Tell me what happened there. I want to know because it was very unsettling.
There are 2 times it happened to me. Once I was in my car getting ready to pull into a parking spot at the grocery store, and the parking spot was empty, and I was getting ready to pull in, and just in an instant, the parking spot had a car in it.
Wow.
And it was like, that's crazy. Because, I mean, I literally must have jumped timelines because one, that space was empty. One, it wasn't. And I almost hit the car. And another time I was at a Target that had a Starbucks in it. And I was looking at I was noticing that is the sorriest looking, you know how Starbucks has the donuts and the sandwiches and stuff. And I was looking at them like, that is the sorriest Target or a Starbucks display I've ever seen. And then instantly it was back to a normal one.
Wow. So we have a subscriber who watches us. She lives in Alabama. She described a very similar incident to what you had. She said she thought she was stopped at an intersection. And then the next thing she knows, she was in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just that it's like you get out of phase a little bit. You're either ahead of time or you're behind time, or it has to do with time. You're definitely jumping time, or you're jumping timelines.
Yeah, this was weird. And when you're fully dressed, and, you know, and Lynn, she says, well, this is very odd. I said, yeah, it's weird, honey. Something's going on around here.
Something is going on around here.
I'm glad you told me that of your experience. That tells me that something else. And I'm just looking in the chat room and too, and it seems like other people have been having that experience as well.
And let me throw out this as we leave. This is one of the weird things that's circulating in my head. We think about having sexual intercourse, and you think about, for some reason, when people have orgasms, a lot of time they're yelling out, "Oh God, oh God." And in their head, if you're in Western culture and you're yelling out, "Oh God," the chances are 99% you've got a Abrahamic God in your mind. So is that a cultural thing that causes us at a time of great power to give worship, praise, and energy to this God? And what would happen if we leveraged and manifested that moment towards our own intention?
There's a lot of truth to that. Yeah.
And Sine says time doesn't exist during sex, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there's a certain truth to that.
Well, either way, it's the best 45 seconds of your life.
Oh,
thank God time doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Lori's like, what sex? What's the sex thing?
Yeah. There's no sex here. Well, what are we talking about?
And Renaissance Woman is right. She says that's called sex magic. It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and I think that might be, and and I'm giving away all my stuff here, but when, the Beatles said, all you need is love, and the scriptures say God is love. Is there a key that in real, true, sacred sex, in that moment, it's a great time of manifestation and power and taking control and manifesting and bringing things to be?
I think there has been so much misteaching on sex. I read somewhere that they said that was the original sin, that man was never to be able to have the same physical pleasures. I think that's what Enki did for us, and that pissed all the rest of them off, because they were the only ones that exposed that had that moment of climax, as they would say.
Yeah, now we're getting a little loose in the chat room, talking about self-love and stuff.
Hey. Well, that's just mental masturbation. So, or should I? Let me be more refined. That's mental coitus.
Mental coitus, yes. Julie Marie watched two motorcyclists disappear in front of her. Wow. Supernatural says tantric sex goes into the heavens. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
If you get two people that are in the unionship, you can do some powerful stuff. I mean, Yeah, I contend couples, if you really are united, you could start turning your lovemaking into some powerful stuff.
You can, and even if you're doing solo sexual activities, it's also a time of powerful manifestation.
It is. It's
not that I'm recommending that, but just since it came up.
Well, Philo talks about it in the Sex Moses, and he has another whole thing. Hermes spoke about it. That it's I can think of many of the great philosophers spoke of it. But it's so taboo, and that's the reason why the church, listen, there is a degradation to everything,
because they don't want us to be able to manifest it, because they know it's super powerful.
And I think that's why so many people get lost in the sexual bondage. It's a very powerful thing, and they don't know. Much like the spirits, they get confused in. That's why you go off into different tangents. But true magicians know, Jeff. They know.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're spraying us not to want sex. Now, that's interesting.
And who said that? Linda, I just saw that. By the way, there was a study that came out of Cornell recently that says that this generation, the ones between 15 and 22, are the sexless most generation ever recorded.
Yeah. And you can charge orgasm with a sigil. And if you focus, it takes some discipline, because at that moment you got to look at that sigil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's focus.
No, I just had a really weird idea, but it might be a profound idea. And even though it's kind of out there, this is crazy, Wayne. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but if you have a sigil and you're trying to manifest something, now don't judge me, but if you put the sigil, like if you're a man having sex with a woman and you want to focus on a sigil, why not like put it on a sticky note on her forehead?
There's powerful stuff there.
She can put this sigil on your forehead and you're looking at each other and you're looking at the sigil.
That's not, I don't find that silly at all.
Wow.
I think it could begin to activation of many people's third eye.
Is it getting hot in here or is it just me?
It's just the spirits, man.
All of a sudden it's not so cold anymore.
I think what we now are seeing is the electrons beginning to heat up.
That could be some powerful sex magic. Dude, we're getting onto some stuff.
Well, this is how it works.
And I'm not saying anything, but Renaissance woman just very confidently says, it works.
She know. And you know, as we
knows what she's talking about. She's in South Africa, so hey.
Well, here's the thing. I know we've really gone over, but I find it interesting. Lynn and I were talking about this last night.
A post-it note fall off? Well, maybe if you got the brow sweat, so maybe you have to put some tape or something.
Yeah, maybe just tape it on there.
Or you could use like mascara, Wayne, and put it on.
You could do anything. I think it's very powerful.
Mascara.
People have to begin to develop their own sigils.
Could you imagine, honey? Now I'm just going to put this sigil on your forehead with your mascara. No, eyeliner. That's what you need, right? An eyeliner pencil.
Yeah. Just be still here.
Jeff, why do you have an eyeliner pencil? It's not what you think, really. It's not.
It's not.
Oh, Alana Dawn, is that what the bendy dot is for?
That's a good point. I do not know that, but that's good.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway.
Wow. Well, this has been a Sunday morning to remember.
This has been a Sunday morning to remember.
It's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, I hate to bring this up, but I don't know if I'm going to go.
No Sharpies, please.
No Sharpies, please. What's that, honey?
That's an indelible.
That would be bad, Sharp.
Yeah. I could put a cramp in one style real quick.
Oh my. Yeah, that's really powerful stuff.
Well, it's really interesting.
Permanent markers.
The church is coming out against all of this. This week I read 2 articles that they're coming out against all forms of meditation. They're now beginning to warn the church of the rise of pagans and the Gnostics, using those exact 3 words. And I thought, oh boy, here it comes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Here it comes. Yeah. So here it comes.
And with that.
Yes. Well, Jeff, wrap
it up.
Have a good Thanksgiving. I don't know where you'll be. Are you staying in town over to Mom's house or what?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely head over to my mom's house, and yeah, we'll have some festivities over there.
Excellent.
Wow, that's some great stuff. Great stuff.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this myself.
Yeah, this is a really, really good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this one.
Really, really good one. Wow.
Well, okay.
Good stuff, Wayne. Good stuff, everybody in the chat room. Very, very powerful.
It is. I think this will be going down in one of our top 10s, I think.
I think so. I definitely think so.
Yes. We've had a record crowd in here. This is the first time I think we ever reached close to 400 in here today.
I can't recall, but it's very awesome to have so many good, smart people in here.
Well, they make it. This is why I enjoy coming here. I learn. Yeah.
Wayne, tell them where they can find your stuff.
R. Wayne Steiger, come on over. You'll enjoy it. And I do a weekly radio show, 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights at theartistfirst.com.
Excellent. Good job. You. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so while you're here.
Yes, you should.
We'll look forward to seeing you all again next Sunday morning for another episode of Not Your Normal Sunday Show.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, everyone. Had a great time. Jeff, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Yeah.
It is. It's a great way to spend a Sunday morning, much better than the way I spent it for 20 years.
I'm going to say Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. Nice
So
to
be
see
it.
you all. Love and light to each and every one of you. We appreciate you so much. And Wayne, thanks for being here, and I appreciate you, brother. Love you so much.
Love you too, Jeff. Thanks, buddy.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.